Alright everyone, how are you doing? This is Sierra Games Scott, and we are on my third Let's Play. Now, when I left you last time in Gold Rush show a couple days ago, at least as I'm recording this, I said we might go do Space Quest 4, the talking version. I suggested we might do Police Quest 2. I suggested maybe even a new game, maybe even trying to attempt Quest for Glory 5, Dragonfire. None of those are going to happen this round. I haven't ruled any of those out. Just a few of them require a bit more technical prowess than I have now, so I'm going to look into that a little bit more. I was feeling a little bit on the lazier side. I just want to do something that would be quick to set up, and so I did a search of YouTube, and I only actually found surprisingly, one other Let's Play of this, and so I figure that qualifies as rare enough to give me at least some motivation to do a Let's Play for it. So I figured I'll go ahead with it. And you are now looking at a DOS screen. I don't normally start that up, but I just didn't want to tip you off quite yet as to what game it is. But I'll type in the letters, and that should give you an indication of what game we're playing. KQ3. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is King's Quest 3. And I'm not sure if you can hear the PC speaker, but that is the triumphant music of the third game in the King's Quest series, which I believe was the original Quest series of Sierra. And it's one of the first games I ever played from Sierra. I think Space Quest was the first one. I think King's Quest 3 was the second one. So this goes all the way back for me. I'm probably looking at first grade for me, so quite a while ago. But one of my favorite games, one of the ones I really enjoyed, along with Gold Rush. I had a lot of good memories of this. And we're going to go into an introduction pretty soon, so the whole video will not be my normal standard fare of talking for 10 minutes and then spending the second video in the actual game, but we will actually play this one. So if you just want to see the game being played, I once again urge you to move to video 2, which hopefully I will upload at the same time as this one. Alright, here's the introduction. Gideon is a lonely lad of 17 who's lived for as long as he can, remember, with an evil and cruel wizard by the name of Manannan. Gideon gazes upon the countryside of Ludor with longing, wishing he were free. Sorry about that. Manannan treats the poor boy like his slave, ordering him about, constantly threatening him, and refusing to ever let him leave the premises. Often Gideon wonders who he really is, and how he came to live with the old wizard, but Manannan offers no help. Sorry, that goes a little bit fast, but I think you get the general idea. He's a slave. Suddenly the front door opens, and out stalks Manannan the wizard. "Gideon!" he shouts harshly. I got it that time. Oh, Gideon rushes to his side, afraid he may be in trouble. "Why are you not working, boy?" the wizard sneers. Gideon mumbles a faint reply. "The kitchen floor is filthy," Manannan grumbles. "Go sweep it." Now turning on his heel, the wizard re-enters the house, slamming the door behind him. Alright, sorry you're going a little fast, but I wanted to make sure we didn't miss the long text box that time. Kind of a delay with him turning around and slamming the door behind him. Well, it seems like he's taller than the doorway, but this is the 1988-87, did say? So this is an old game. Such is the story of young Gideon's life to this point. What's the poor boy to do? Oh well. In resignation, Gideon obediently follows Manannan into the house. And that is the introduction to King's Quest 3. So I'm going to, so we don't flip through that again, I'm going to just get us into the game, but we will not actually play, and so I'm just going to pause it, because this game is sort of on a timer, and we'll see that in a little bit. So once again, the rest of this video is going to be pretty much me just commenting on the game. I do this pretty much every time I do an introduction, so if you do want to see the game just being played, it does have commentary. I do make that a key point of my Let's Plays, but if you want to actually see the game, some action, that will be video 2, when we'll actually start exploring this house and this area and this game. Like I said, this is, if you have not watched any of my previous Let's Plays, I just finished Gold Rush, a Sierra game, which was not one of the Quest games, but similar format, and it was actually done in conjunction with another company. I also did Quest for Glory 3, which is one of the VGA games. I did that to try to sort of fill a gap between a fellow named Late Blate, who has did some excellent jobs on Quest for Glory 1, 2, and 4, but just didn't want to do 3. So I thought I could kind of fill a gap there, doing a commented Let's Play for that. Anyway, but I do enjoy just offering insight. I'm somewhat of a Sierra game junkie, so I hopefully have a few interesting things to say about it. Sometimes I have a funny story or two as well, and sometimes I maybe even have something insightful to say about the game as we move along. Like I was saying earlier, King's Quest 3 was one of the first games I had played. It's the second one, I believe, as I mentioned, Space Quest 1 was probably the first one I never played, and I really enjoy this game. It has one of the things that is sort of my pet peeve about Sierra, is that there's always some town or something in most of these games, which really isn't a town at all. It's 2 shops or something. And it's kind of funny that this wizard, as we'll see, is sort of lord over this entire valley, but he's really lord over nothing. I think I'm in control of more things than he is. So anyway, but we're supposed to at least pretend that he is quite the dictator of this countryside. In any event, one thing I did like about the game, though, if this town is lacking anything, the house is pretty cool, and there's a lot of things you can do. I remember having a sleepover, actually, with a friend of mine, and we were up all night playing this game, going through, as we'll see, a lot of the spells. And one of the things I thought was pretty neat about this game, especially as a younger kid playing, was that Mannan can kind of appear and disappear, as we'll see. And you're kind of against the clock with him, and it's kind of frightening, at least when I was a little kid, that when he'd appear and you get caught, you really had to be very careful how you played the game. What you did, you had to really pace yourself until at some point you can actually there's a big relief, and it's really a reward you earn when you don't have to deal with that. I don't know if I'll have the same sort of trepidation playing it now as an adult, playing as someone who's played this game several times, doing it as a sort of a bit of a canned let's play, but at least at the time, I think it was enjoyable. So if you haven't played this game before, I hope you'll enjoy this Let's Play. I think it's a real treat. I think it's I'd say my favorite of the King's Quest games. I don't like the first 2 very much. There were remakes, which I think made them a little better, but the first 2 were just very. I mean, they were the very early Sierra games. Even this was a fairly early Sierra game, but it just sort of had a couple fairy tales or a few things in the middle of some woods somewhere, and you kind of worked around them. I don't know. It's an okay game, certainly for its time. I'm sure it was pretty neat. I never actually played it when it first came out. It was years later. In fact, within probably the last 5 years, I played both of those games. And then I don't really like the games that came after King's Quest 4. I don't like 5 very much. There wasn't a lot of. It was very, very linear. You pretty much had to do everything. It got a lot of attention from the media and such because it was one of the first CD-ROM games that sort of had talking and the audio files and really the full graphics, VGA graphics and everything. It was the first one that kind of switched to the point-and-click style rather than a text parser. I think 6 was a bit of an improvement, but I still didn't like it as much as some of the earlier games. So I think it was kind of a bell curve for King's Quest. The first 2 weren't so great. The second 2 were pretty good. I do like King's Quest 4, though I like this one better. And the last 2 weren't so hot. And then I don't know if I really consider 7 and 8 even part. I guess they're technically part of the game, the series, but they're so different. 7's, I think, really aimed towards girls. I guess it was very cartoonish and had female characters. Not that it was bad for King's Quest 4, but I think just the cartoon nature really just made it a little bit more geared, I think, towards younger girls. And then King's Quest 8, I never played, but I think I heard it was more like an action game. It's when Sierra was trying to move away from the adventure-style games because they weren't selling as well. And you sort of seen that in Quest for Glory 5, which was sort of revived to be more of an action-oriented game. So anyway, this is a good one. This is a classic game, and I think it's one that you'll enjoy. Like I said, there's not too many Let's Plays on YouTube. I only saw one other one, so hopefully I can just add my sort of style to it. And if you enjoy my other Let's Plays, hopefully you'll enjoy this. If you haven't watched them yet, I certainly invite you to watch. Gold Rush is one of the other fairly obscure games, so if you haven't played that before, it might be fun to watch. And like I said, I have King's Quest for Glory 3, which hopefully complements to some degree Late Blights or some of the other Quest for Glory 1, 2, and 4 videos that are out there. In any event, we're running low on time, so we'll wrap this up. I'm Sierra Games Scott. I'm playing King's Quest 3, and I'll see you next time when we actually get into the action. Take care.